So welcome back to Boys on Film on Marriott.net. So many great movies in 2018. We continue our countdown of the best films of the year. So Raj, we've already done 10 to 6.
Yes.
So if you haven't watched that video, check the link above. Today we continue with numbers 5 to 1. I'm predicting a couple in your top 5.
Okay, well I'm predicting at least one in your top 5. So.
You did actually ask me just before we started filming if it's in there, and I didn't tell you.
But it will be in there.
Teacher saying it wasn't, but I might have lied. So number 5, should we start with yours?
Number 5 for me is a film I still don't think you've seen yet, and I'm gonna smack you for it. But you need to see Sorry to Bother You.
I haven't seen it yet.
No,
I was going to mention it on the last video.
So good. It's like one of those films that is the most bonkers film you'll ever see this year. I think it was very overlooked. It definitely got a lot of film festival praise this year. And Boots Riley, first film, I think it's the first film he's directed. I can't express how much fun this movie is.
My number 5 is a film that was directed, I think written by and directed by someone who we met in the year. It's Andrew Haigh, the director of Lean on Paint.
That's very interesting.
It's a really charming little film about a boy who works for a racehorse. It's facing its last moments, isn't it? Because it's not performing as a horse.
I really love this film.
I really
do. I'm not going to say much about it now, but I just really love this film.
It really had an effect on me too, because I saw Andrew Haig's previous film, which was 45 Years, and I really loved that film too. To focus on such a young boy and to have a performance so bold and so brilliant, I just thought it was really captivating.
And I really love that, because when I got to interview Andrew, you were going on about 45, and then I was a huge fan of Looking, and then we both saw this film together, and it was such a different experience to those other films. It was definitely a highlight of my year.
Because 45 Years was very brooding and slow burning, and this film was the same. I have to say, Charlie Plummer is the actor. I actually made a mistake in the interview by calling him Christopher Plummer, which is obviously someone who's 4 times his age, or maybe more.
Just imagine Andrew going, journalist.
That was quite embarrassing. But Charlie Plummer, what a great little actor he is.
Number 4 for me is The Miseducation of Cameron Post. And we saw this film in a very small screener cinema, 12 seats, something like that. But yeah, I was just floored at this film and how well they captured the whole, conversion camp therapy story. And I haven't got to see Boy Erased yet, but it's a very similar story. The story that they told, and Chloe Grace Moretz, and you were saying before that you don't feel that she's one of your favorite actresses.
She hasn't been in the past. I thought she was brilliant in this.
It's kind of turned it around for me too, because I've always enjoyed her in the films. But for this one, I was like, oh wow, this is very clever. What she got herself involved in.
I think she's a fine actor. I think she acts with her eyes. I think she overdoes that a little bit, I have to say, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't been keen on her in the past. But it's all about expressions. It's all about her torment, and I think she just needs to take a foot off.
Awkward is a thing now. So she does those awkward eye things. So.
I like her.
I watched it again on demand, and I liked it more the second time around. So for me, I know a film is good, and it kind of hits home for me when I actually just want to sit down and watch it at my leisure again. So
this film we have reviewed. I think we reviewed it back in March of this year. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Which was directed by Martin McDonagh. It was Frances McDormand, of course, was the lead role. It just blew my mind. I thought it was amazing.
I don't get it.
Really?
I really like the movie, but I don't get it.
Well, I know it has run into a lot of controversy with the storyline, especially to do with the cop, Sam Rockwell's character. Because obviously, as it starts with him being very racist, very homophobic, and ends almost in a way that makes you sympathise with his character when you really shouldn't, because he's almost like a transformed character.
Yeah, but see, that's my problem with the movie, is I feel the movie ends when it just is starting to get good.
Oh, I love the ending.
See, for me, it was like, it's over? There's not... That's it? Well, it's been like a whole year, and they won all the Oscars, and it's like, okay, well, there's been no talk of, like, expanding the story.
Yeah.
I mean, if they actually did that, maybe I would appreciate the story more going into it, but I felt, as a viewer, kind of cheated out of, like, this is what the story's going to be.
No, see, I thought it left the audience to decide. Did you think that it wasn't clear, the ending, then? Did you think that you weren't unsure whether they were going to take revenge or not? Or
No, I just wanted to know what they were going to do, because to me it felt like a lot of interesting moments leading up to this point. Sam Rockwell's character has changed. He gets together with the main character, and they're going to do something, and then the movie ends. It was
really
too
clear to me.
It was really abrupt for
me. It surprised me the way they did it, but I thought it wasn't a typical ending. I didn't think it was a cliche.
It was so abrupt for me.
Okay.
I can't even say like how disappointed I was.
Well, Frances McDormand plays the mother of a girl who is raped and killed, and the cops aren't doing anything. The police aren't doing anything to solve, who has committed the crime. And to find them. There are 3 billboards.
3 billboards in
and she puts messages basically slating the police and why haven't you found the killer? It's quite brutal. It's quite a brutal film. There's lots of violence there. I think it needs to have the violence in there because it's a very violent story. The premise is, it's gloomy. It's not a Disney movie by any means, but there is a lot of comedy in there, and I think the performances I think they're terrific, really good performances.
My number 3, and I'm very curious if it's even made your list.
Okay,
is Hereditary.
A film, it hasn't made my list.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a film I saw. I saw it with you the first time.
I really liked it.
Where did we see it at Sundance? I liked it the first time I saw it. I saw it again for the second time.
So I'd like to see it again.
In general release, and then I saw it on demand, and I was just I really like that story. I really do. So I know it really creeped a lot of people out, but for me, it was just like, that's my kind of story.
I really enjoyed it, and at the time, I really loved it. Again, too many other great movies to include in this list.
Really?
But definitely bubbling under for me.
I thought for sure it would make your top 10 list. Toni Collette was so scary and creepy, and there's so many good memes that came out of this movie this year, and I just love the whole twist at the end. And
the ending was nuts. The ending was very Mother, wasn't it?
Yeah. Stop saying that, because it's not Mother for me. This film is not Mother.
It's for me.
It's first-time director. You got to admit, as a first-time director, that guy did a damn good job.
Yeah.
And I love the actor who played the son. I mean, it was just, for me, all around. It was such...
I think there was so much hype, though. I think there was probably too much hype for it, and I just wish that I'd gone into it not really knowing much about it, and also not really reading any reviews. I think it was more a fault of my own that I read too much into it and was thinking it was going to be the next best horror film ever.
Well, there were a lot of critics who were giving it massive accolades.
I mean, there were critics that were saying it was, this generation's Exorcist. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't call any film that.
Oh gosh. Well, all right, Philip.
That does still creep me out, I must admit. Hairs on the back of the neck. So number 3 for me, and I think I seem to remember you didn't really enjoy this film. It's Lady Bird.
Oh yes.
Directed by Greta Gerwig.
Yes. Who
I've been a fan of before. I've seen her in movies as an actor. I thought for her feature debut, I thought this was a phenomenal piece of work, and I loved seeing the relationship between the daughter, who's played by Saoirse Ronan, who I love as well, and the mother. And you know the mother more than me. I've not really seen her in much, but she was played by...
She's Aunt Jackie from Roseanne. Yeah. Well, not on Roseanne anymore, now the Connors.
It's changed, isn't it? Yeah. See, I'm not really familiar with her.
As she's great. No, I'm not a fan of this movie.
I thought it was great. Obviously about a girl that is having trouble having a relationship with her mother, but you know that they love each other dearly. And as the film progresses, it shows that relationship splintering, but also rebuilding almost, because they've had time away to think about each other and how much they love each other. And it's real, it's funny, it's heartfelt, it's sad, it's dramatic. Loved it.
I didn't love it.
I'm surprised by that. I thought you would have done.
I personally did not feel it deserved the praise it deserved.
Wow.
So
really?
Yeah. Even though Timothée Chalamet is in it, and I love him, and you know, the mother, she definitely deserved her accolades, but I just did not like even the main character.
Funny you say that, because I'd forgotten that he was in it. I love Timothée Chalamet, but for me, I don't even remember him being in the film at all.
Yeah, he was in it.
Which is weird. I don't think it was a highlight for me at all. But
he played the boyfriend.
He did.
Yeah. In a band.
Yeah. He's not what stood out for me, though.
No. Okay, it was starting to get really difficult in picking my favorite movies this year.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And this movie could definitely be at number 1. Because there's a toss-up between number 2. I've actually physically changed them on my list 3 times. My number 2 is Lean on Pete. As a film reviewer, it was such a joy this year to talk to Andrew, and I've watched the film a few times, and the horse scene just kills me every time, you know.
Yeah.
And I could relate kind of growing up in that area as well.
What a nice guy he is as well, Andrew. Yeah. Such a talented bloke, and you just know that he's doing films for the right reason. He's not doing films to make money necessarily. You just know that his heart's in the right place.
Yeah, and this movie, you probably ignored it. You probably saw a movie poster for it and didn't think anything of it. But it's just one of those films that, in my mind, deserves a Best Picture nomination. If it actually gets it, I'm very highly doubtful, but it's one of those great films you need to see.
Yeah.
It's not going to get anywhere near the credit it deserves, but it's a fantastic film.
So number 2, for me, is A Fantastic Woman, which was a film directed by Sebastian Lelio.
So you've got all the Oscar films.
It's not really anything to do with that, though.
Yeah.
It's more to do with the impression it left with me and the feeling that I got when I walked away from it. And I saw it in a daytime screen. It was quite early, and it just blew my mind. And I just thought, I felt like I really believed in the performances as well. But Daniela Vega, I'd never seen her in anything before. In fact, I think it might be her feature debut as an actress. She plays a trans girl who's kind of a struggling singer. She works in bars, meets an older guy who's probably almost double her age, and they have a relationship, and it's a really loving relationship. He falls ill and stumbles out of her flat and collapses in the middle of the night, and he dies. So she's having to deal with the death of her loved one, and also deal with transphobia and the family's reaction, because his family just don't like her very much and just see her as someone who's not to be trusted, and they're very transphobic as well, and it's all to do with how she picks herself up and dusts herself off. And there are some amazing scenes, some really visual and very memorable scenes that are done in a really kind of escapist way, where she's almost escaping the troubles of her life and going to this big fantasy scene where she's almost like a big dancer and singer in a big venue with an adoring audience, and it's just so brilliant. You really need to see it. You've not seen it, have you?
Well, Phil, that was just beautiful what you just said. But I've had the worst luck with this film. I couldn't make the screening when we were invited to it.
So you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Then I was watching it on demand, but then the subtitles were broken on demand, so I couldn't watch it. Well, I could, but I just didn't understand it in Spanish, so I decided not to watch it.
Right.
And then I had a chance to watch it on the plane going to New York, and then the audio-visual system decided not to work.
Oh my God, it's a fantastic curse,
I know. I haven't been able to see this film yet, so I think I'm just going to go out and buy the Blu-ray and own it, because what you just said was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's worth every penny. I mean, it really would have been my number 1, but so difficult, especially the top 5, so difficult cramming all these films in. Which brings us quite nicely to the big moment.
Dun dun dun!
Your favourite film of 2018, Raj, what is it?
My favourite film of 2018, I'm sure you haven't seen it yet. Even though the director has tweeted us, thanking us for our review. But my favorite film of 2018, I'm getting warm fuzzies thinking about it, is Hearts Beat Loud. Feel good movie of the year.
Yeah.
This film is what the world needs right now. It has everything you possibly want. Fun story, great cast, little nostalgic moments, fantastic music, simple, I just love everything about this movie.
So a father-daughter relationship.
Yes.
He works in a record shop.
Yes, see, Phil knows everything about this movie, but he hasn't seen it yet.
And the daughter wants to be in a band.
Father works in a record shop.
Yeah.
Mother's passed away. The daughter is going away to college to become a doctor, but she's inherited some natural music ability from her parents, and then her dad still has dreams about making it big in the music industry. He gets together with his daughter. They jam. They kind of record a song. Father secretly uploads it to Spotify, and boom, they kind of blow up overnight on Spotify.
Yeah.
Management comes knocking at the door. Daughter's still like, I want to be in a band with my dad, and the dad's like, come on, we're going to be massive. And Toni Collette is in it. What's not to like about this movie?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, because I know that I'm
Ted
going to love it
Danson
when
plays
I see
a gay bartender.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's got success written all over it, isn't it?
But it was one of those movies, again, that just didn't get the recognition that it deserves. And it had a very small run here in the UK in some of the independent theaters, and so limited that actually I found it very hard to like go and see it, because it was just like, I think a week in and out of the cinema.
Yeah.
But it was such a good movie, and I just hope that someone out there please recognize this movie come Oscar season, because you need to see this movie. It deserves a second wind.
So perhaps no surprise to anyone watching, perhaps no surprise to you, Raj.
Oh gosh, it's
My
really
number one movie is David Gordon Green's Halloween. You saw that coming, didn't you?
Yes, by hoping you're going to be a little bit of, journalistic integrity and not make it number one. But it's your favorite film, because I will, in some of our TV reviews, I will have done something purely selfish. Not selfish, but purely like just for me, because...
Well, perhaps on its own as a movie, and I have to be completely honest, it probably wouldn't have been number one. But there are so many different reasons why it is there. The excitement, for one. The anticipation.
Yes, I heard about it all year.
All those dodgy sequels that Halloween has had.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them. Perhaps H2O does, escape that. But it's been tainted by so much badness, that franchise. And to have a film directed and written and co-written by people that really love the original from John Carpenter from the late 70s.
Okay, how many times did you see this movie?
I've seen it twice. I saw it with you first time.
Only twice?
And I did
times.
have to go to the toilet during the first screening.
Because I remember. That was an ordeal.
I drank 3 pints of beer before we started watching.
That was an ordeal, yeah.
Big mistake. And then I watched it again, I think it was a week or 2 weeks later, in the daytime, when there was, I think, 5 people in the screening.
Did you really get to enjoy it? Did you really get to savor in it?
And it wasn't perhaps the same the second time, because it wasn't as exciting, because obviously I'd seen it already, and it wasn't as dark, because we saw it in the evening. It was an evening screen. It was perfect, and it was a multimedia screening, and everybody was buzzing about it.
Michael Myers walking around.
It was great. And I was so excited about this film coming out, and I really wanted it to be the success that it has been. And it's taken so much money at the box office. But yeah, they're definitely going to do a sequel.
You think so?
I was so happy with the story as well, because the story is...
What are the rumors, Phil? What are the official rumors?
No, the rumors are, I think Jamie Lee Curtis said she will do a sequel if it is a success. And it has been a success, because it's obviously taken money. And I know that they
totally set it up for a sequel.
They're rubbing their hands with glee. Yeah, they know that it's going to continue because of the ending. Because the ending just leaves it
very wide open.
Yeah. And I'm pleased about the way they ended it. I mean, we didn't really do a proper review of it at the time, because we were so...
You were so... No, to be fair, I enjoyed the film. I actually watched it a few days ago again.
Yeah, and it's not in your top 10.
No.
Raj Rudolph.
I know... You didn't even watch my number one. What are you talking about? The second time I watched it, it was definitely a lot gorier than I remember the first time.
Do you know what? I was thinking the same, because I said to Jeremy, my partner, I said, I can't quite understand why it's an 18. It's not really that scary. Not that that's the fault. It didn't really scare me that much, but the violence is really graphic.
Yeah, did you notice the very first scene at the gas station? Like, that guy's mouth is like split open.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that in the cinema.
Oh, well, I knew about that because I'd seen the picture, because there were pictures that were leaked weeks before, and I'd seen that, so I knew that was coming. Maybe that was a bit of a spoiler.
I totally missed that. But you know what kind of makes it really scary is the violence that actually feels real. Like when he keeps smashing people's heads against the wall and stuff. I'm like, that's kind of scary because that's like people totally do that.
And they totally got that as well. They understood that you know, because they understand that not showing too much, but showing violence when it needs to really hit you, and it's that kind of violence that really does affect you.
Yeah.
Because it's not violence that's overdone, that's been done before in horror films, that's really cliche.
They kind of cut a whole bit out. Maybe, I don't know if they cut it out for time or whatever, if it was even filmed, but you know the scene where he invades the babysitter, kills the babysitter, and you have a little black kid running around who's very humorous, and
we never know what happened to him.
You never know what happens to him, and he was such a good part of the film for me. Like that kid made me laugh. And then the boyfriend who was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go take care of everything." You didn't see his death scene either. You just saw the classic,
saw the aftermath of it.
You saw the aftermath of it where he's pinned up against the wall, kind of like in the original movie. But I was like, I think they should have expanded on that scene a little bit more instead of the whole like the doctor turns to the dark side scene, because that scene made no sense to me. Because
originally I thought that they'd cut that because there was a child in that scene, but then when you think back to earlier on when the bus crashes,
right, there's
a death scene involving a young kid.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And that was really shocking.
Yeah.
Because you think, oh, Michael Myers, he doesn't kill kids.
Yes, he does.
For a start, he killed his sister, who's obviously a bit older.
Well, you can say Michael Myers doesn't kill babies.
No.
Because he walked past the baby.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God.
But I think
I was like,
I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, if they were to show that, I would have been like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But
I liked the fact that they did shy away from a lot of the scenes, because I don't think you need to necessarily show gratuitous violence. I think when it needs to be done, it needs to be there to really hit you. But I think that's probably why they didn't show the death scene in the babysitter scene.
I wish they would have expanded on that scene, because I felt like the movie was building up to a crux of like it's going to be really scary.
Yeah.
And then there was like 3 people in that house, and they all died, but you only saw one of them die.
So it wasn't as scary as I was hoping it would be. But that's not to say that's a criticism.
Yeah.
I just think it's really difficult to scare me now. I've seen so many scary movies before.
Yeah, I don't think the film was very scary.
No.
But it was good.
Yeah, but not in your top 10.
Not in my top 10, no. Sorry, Phil.
We'll have words. Let's just stop filming. Thank you very much for watching. Has one of your favourite films made the grade, the top 10 of our list?
Which ones are you excited to see out of our top 10 list?
And if you've liked this video, don't forget to share the love by giving us a thumbs up and comment below and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back soon for a new video for Boys on Film.
See ya.